Hiya and welcome to the Cheltenham Festival anti-post chat with the Bookies foe. How are you this evening?
I'm Grand Pen. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
Great.
So this week we're having a look at...
The Arkle.
Very good. So what do you want to tell me about this race then?
So the Arkle is the novice version of the Champion Chase. So these are novice chasers and they fly over these fences over the minimum trip of 2 miles. So really and truly, it's not always the best horse wins this race, but the best jumper. You know, it's so important to be an accomplished jumper for a novice. You know, there's horses that were mediocre hurdlers, but they seem to improve massively then for a fence. And it's the jumping. It's all about the jumping in this contest.
Okay.
So
we've got last year's winner there on the screen.
Shishkin.
Yeah.
So Shishkin's currently favourite for this year's Champion Chase. You are looking for a 6 or a 7-year-old, really, looking over the last 20 years.
Right.
There's been a couple of 8-year-olds have won it, but they were absolute legends, Sizing Europe and Moscow Flyer. I'm not sure, you know, we've anything in the field as good as them two, really. I'm not sure of that at all. Only 2 5-year-olds have won it in the last 20 years as well. So other than that, you know, you're looking for a 6 or a 7-year-old. And that then brings us to the market. And I think Appreciate it's the wrong age. He's too old. Now he could well win it, but at his price, I'm willing to take him on because I think he's too old. Now, people would have said, oh, he was too old to win the Supreme last year and he won it easily. But like I've said before, you have to discount last year's festival because there was no crowds.
Yeah, of course.
Stats stand up over the years at the festival. And I will eliminate last year when I'm looking at stats. So I think Appreciate it's too old at the price he is. As good as he is, he's a fabulous horse, but the stats stand up for a reason. So at 9 to 4, I'm more than happy to look elsewhere. Well, that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
Finding big prices, you know. Fernie Hollow is second in the market at 7 to 2. And, you know, he's the only horse that's beaten Bob Ollinger over hurdles, and he was a fabulous hurdler, novice hurdler, but he won the other day. I wasn't convinced he's the most fluent jumper, and again, because of his price, it's more his price, more than willing to look elsewhere. You know, either of them could easily win this by half the track. I'm not saying they can't, but they're too short. There's plenty of negatives about them. For their prices. Edward Stone is 8th, coming in a third favourite, and I think he was very impressive the other day, but again, I think he's the wrong age. He's too old. I don't think Cheltenham suits him. I think he wants better ground. He really relies on decent ground as well, and I think 8 to 1's too short for him. I don't think he'd even place in the race. I'm more than happy to swerve him. River Detel is improved massively for fences. She's unbeaten over fences. She's ran 3 times, but there's 2 things about her. She's a filly, and she's only 4, so she's going to go into the Arkle as a 5-year-old. And as I said, you're looking for a 6 or a 7-year-old, and the fact that she's a filly as well, she just may not be strong enough to win this race, but I think she's going to be a fabulous horse going forward. Bob Ollinger won't run in it. My Drogo 12s, it probably is a fair price for My Drogo, but he's not a good enough jumper to win the Arkle as far as I'm concerned. I think he comes in too low over his fences, and he nearly fell the other day, and the previous race he did fall. And I just don't think he could be an Arkle contender with his jumping technique. Concertista will go for the Mare's Chase. Honeysuckle's going for the Champion Hurdle. And then you can go down and then you're just finding horses then, Pen, are just not good enough.
No.
the wrong age, whatever, you know. So I think I found two at really nice prices. The first one is Blue Lord. Now it's a shame really we didn't do this video a week ago, because Blue Lord was 25s for this race
Oh,
a week ago, and he came out at the weekend and he was very, 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 very professional for his debut over fences. He won easy. He beat some decent novices in behind him. He jumped really well, and he's such a big horse. He was always going to be a better chaser. He would have finished second in the Supreme behind Appreciated if he hadn't have fallen at the last. So it was a decent run. So we know he acts around Cheltenham. We know he's improving for a fence. He's trained by Willie Mullins. What more can you say? You know. So look, you'll still get 20s. Bet Victor have him at 20-1, but it's 14s is the price you're getting.
yeah.
Across the board, but Bet Victor are currently 20s, and I think he's a great chance. I think he really will close the gap on Appreciated over fences.
Wow, great.
Appreciated destroyed him in the Supreme, but I think it's going to be a different story over fences. He's a really nice technique. So, and he's only going to improve as the season goes on, I think. So 14-1 is probably the price we'll put on the board, Pen, I think.
Yeah, okay, that's great.
So my next selection is Aspire Tower, who he's a little bit of an enigma. I think he's underrated. People will say he's disappointed, and he's flattered to deceive, and you can't really blame people for saying that, because he was a very promising juvenile. He was very impressive at Leopardstown around Christmas time as a juvenile a couple of years ago. He ended up finishing runner-up in the Triumph, but that's when Goshen fell at the last. So really and truly, he was third in the Triumph, really, you know, as a moral. Excuse me. So now, so he had a really good juvenile campaign. He came out then as the returning juvenile last season, and like I said, returning juveniles tend to struggle, even if they go novice chasing or they stay over hurdles. Their 4 to 5 year old campaign, they all struggle. Obviously, you know, they haven't grown strong enough yet when they start coming up against these older horses.
Oh, I see.
So, to be honest, if I was a trainer, and you know, I'm no expert, but if I was a trainer and I had these returning juveniles, I might give them a couple of races before Christmas in the 4-year-old only races, and then just put them away for the season and bring them back then as a 5-year-old in the autumn. Because he did exactly what all the returning juveniles did. He got well beaten last season, but he's now 5. He's rising 6 on New Year's Day, and I think we're going to see the best of this fella over our fences. He's a big stamp of a horse. He's a big chunky horse. He's beaten Abracadabras. Like, wow. He was placed in the Triumph. So I'm just really hoping he's going to take the fences. And if he does, I think we're going to see a different animal. I really do think we're going to see a different animal. And at 33-1, I think that's a mad price.
Oh, I think
that's a mad price.
Yeah.
Like, he's the right age. He's trained by Henry. I'm not sure whether Rachel will ride him or not. Depends who else is going for the Arkle, but he acts around Cheltenham. He's proved it. He was runner-up in a Triumph. What's not to like, really? There's not a lot of negatives. And I think we're going to see a much improved horse. As he's now getting older, he's improving, and I think a fence is going to improve him as well. He had decent technique over hurdles, but I just think a fence is going to improve him, and I think 33 is a massive price.
That's a great price. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we'll have a little look at the chart, shall we?
Yeah.
There we go. So so added up obviously Blue Lord and Aspire Tower onto the charts, and You know, I mean, you're right. What you said, you know, at the start of this, you know, we are seeing prices coming down already as some of these horses have raced. You know, so it's great to lock in some of those early values that we got, you know, in the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks. And
so I suppose if we look at it, Envoy Allen, what price is he now for the Gold Cup? We put him up at 8. Hold on 2 seconds, I'll tell you now. I'd say he's a massive price now for the Gold Cup, unfortunately. But that's the perils of anti-post betting. Envoy. Apologies now, Pen. He's he's only 16s. But in fairness, he has been very disappointing, and I don't think I'd even at this stage. I was just really disappointed with him the last day. I don't even think I'd back him at 16s, to be honest. But the rest, I'm happy enough. I'm looking forward to She Wears It Well to see what she does.
yeah,
Born in Victory, I'm happy with that price. That was an overreaction. Epatante, yeah, the Manil, I'm happy. Apart from Envoy Allen, I'm happy. I'm very happy.
Well, that's good. Okay. That's good. What race are we going to look at next week?
So we're going for the Ryanair next week.
Okay.
And I've won very, very big price for the Ryanair.
Oh.
And very, very excited about it. And yeah, it should be the right time to look at the Ryanair. And we're progressing through it nicely. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
We definitely are. Yeah, it's been great so far. I look forward to getting the chance to have a chat with you again next week.
Cheers, Pen.
All right, take care. See you soon.
God bless. Bye.
Bye.